We are ready. This is Global Voice Network and herbalhealthreview.com. And this is Discoveries in Health Discussions on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, DLive, and Odyssey. Hello, Dr. Truman. How are you this evening?
I am blessed, Paul, and I know that you are blessed as well. And it's going to be a little noisy here because folks are celebrating Thanksgiving in the building, and uh, so we don't have a private office to do this in. If you see people walking around behind us and whatever, it's because we got a lot of people in the building today.
It's everybody there having a happy Thanksgiving.
And they're having a happy Thanksgiving. Yes, they are.
Excellent.
Uh, that being said, Paul, this is Discoveries in Health, and this is Bishop Dr. Truman Berst from Good Shepherd Ministries. And Good Shepherd Ministries since 1999. And before that, we were just a ministry that hadn't been officially formed since 1961. And what we do is we talk about natural remedies. And it looks, I hear somebody, their mic is open in there with you, Paul. And I don't know who it is, but I'm getting a little feedback from them, but it stopped now. So let's continue. And my telephone number is 503 362 5899. That's 503 362 5899. My email address is Truman at herbalhealthreview.com. That's Truman at herbalhealthreview.com. And I am need I'm trying to change something here, and there it is. I'm looking for the organizer controls, and I'll be able to mute the microphones over there. That will stop any echoes from the dial pad meeting room. And we've done that. And let us start, as we always do, in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior, Yeshua, which is Hebrew for our Savior. And let us start with an opening prayer in the name of Jesus Christ to the Most High God. And uh, let's go with Samuel, 1 Samuel 23:13. David flees to the wilderness. Then David and his men, which were about 600, arose and departed out of Keilah and went whithersoever they could go. And it was told Saul that David was escaped from Keilah, and he forbore to go forth. And David abode in the wilderness in strongholds and remained in a mountain in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul saw him every day, but God delivered him not into his hand. And David saw that Saul was come out to seek his life. And David was in the wilderness of Ziph in a wood. And Jonathan, Saul's son, arose and went to David into the wood and strengthened his hand in God. And he said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king over Israel, and I shall be next unto thee, and that also Saul my father knoweth. And they two made a covenant before the Lord. And David abode in the wood, and Jonathan went to his house. Then came up the Ziphites to Saul and to uh, Jebeth, saying, Doth not David hide himself with us in strongholds, in the wood, in the hill of Hachila, which is on the south of Jeshimon? Now, therefore, O king, come down according to all the desire of thy soul to come down, and our part shall be to deliver him into the king's hand. And Saul said, Blessed be ye of the Lord, for ye have compassion on me. Go, I pray you, prepare yet, and know and see his place where his haunt is, and who hath seen him there. For it is told me that he dealeth very subtly. Of, 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 See therefore, and take knowledge of all the lurking places where he hideth himself, and come ye again to me with the certainty that I will go with you. And it shall come to pass, if he be in the land, that I will search him out, and throughout all the thousands of Judah. And they arose and went to Ziph before Saul, but David and his men were in the wilderness of the Moon, in the plain on the south of Jeshimon. All praises to the Most High. Praise and worship and thank you, our Father which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. And in Jesus Christ's name, we pray and worship and thank you and receive your love and your mercy for the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus Christ's name, praise, worship, and thank you, the Most High God, as we receive your love and your mercy for the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus Christ's name, so be it. And that being said, folks, that gets us started. We have our opening prayer. Now let's look and see if anyone wants to open their microphone over there in dial pad meetings or over here in the Jitsi room. And if you have a question, a topic, or a suggestion regarding health, that's what we're doing here. We're not prescribing, we're not diagnosing, we're teaching a class in natural remedies, and uh, we're doing that with various research reports on the fly. So if you have a question, a topic, or a suggestion, well, that's all you need to do is, and I see that we have one hand up over there. Sister Sharon, what is your question, topic, or suggestion? Do you hear me, Sister Sharon? You know, one, two, three, four. Sister Sharon, I can't hear you. Let me see. I don't know why. I should be able to hear you, but I don't. I'm going to check my sound over here and take a look at the sound. Wow, it's clear up to 98. Let's take a look at let's change the speaker configuration. Let's do that. Okay. because that's what probably is wrong. Let's I'm trying to open sound settings. Okay, we're going to have to change the sound settings over there because they are wrong and they need to be instead of that. Output 1, 2, 3. It says it's working, but it's not. And let's see if we can come over here and change the sound settings. Spatial. Mixer. Okay, what do we want? Speakers, Google System Sounds, Applications. Something's not working here.
So it's dial-pad meetings that you're having trouble with?
Yeah, it's dial pad meetings, the sound. I need to change sound devices, and it's not giving me that option where I'm trying to find it. And sound control panel, microphone. Let's see if that'll get it.
Okay. Well, I'm checking the stream, and it seems that our audio is a little bit low on the stream, but it's okay. It's audible. I'll be working on that while the show is going on. So, just letting you know.
Okay. And I'm seeing if I can correct that. Setting, spatial sound. Okay. Playback recording. Recording. Here we go. Micro. Real tech. Why is it playback? Speakers, sounds. Hold on, folks, while we make a connection here with a different sound device so that the folks can hear us over there on dial pad meetings. And it's not working, and I don't know why.
In the meanwhile, if we have anyone connected to the Jitsi room that would like to give us a topic of discussion, we'd appreciate it. See, we have Angela connected. Angela, how are you tonight?
Oh, just peachy.
Just peachy. Well, that's good. Have you had a pleasant Thanksgiving so far?
Mm-hmm, sure.
You know, I have a small Italian restaurant that does traditional turkey dinners on Thanksgiving Day, and they deliver them. So I had my lunch delivered today, this afternoon, and it was quite enjoyable. Did you have a nice turkey dinner?
Yeah, everything was great today. Thanks for asking.
Excellent. Wonderful. We're still working on getting dial pad meetings working. You can monitor the program at radio.rumble.com or radio dot or rumble.globalvoiceradio.net. That's rumble.globalvoiceradio.net. You can also monitor the program on Odyssey, odyssey.globalvoiceradio.net. That's Odyssey, ODYSEE.globalvoiceradio.net. And you can also monitor on the Herbal Health Review YouTube channel. And you can find that link on herbalhealthreview.com, Health Discussions tab. So, Truman, do we have any joy on dial pad meetings yet?
No, I for some reason or another, I'm trying to find switch devices, and it's not coming up. So I'm about to ask people to uh, to uh, uh, call in on on Jitsi instead of dial pad, because I can't get dial pad going uh, because the sound is not opening up the right sound device to create the sound for the dial pad meetings.
Well, let me see if I can get into dial pad meetings with Skype, and then I can share. Can you give me the phone number for dial pad meetings?
Yeah, the phone number for dial pad meetings is 503 606 6064.
Okay, let me dial into there. And is there a pin that I'm going to need to get in there?
Joining
No.
conference now. This call is muted. To unmute yourself, press the star key twice.
Hold on just a second.
After I
You
ask
go
you
ahead and
about
take over for a minute while I find
question.
somebody.
Hey.
Tell him your
What
topic. Tell him my topic. Okay, what you gotta hang up? You gotta go? No, because I can't get in. I can't comment. I want to listen.
Excuse me.
Because I have a meeting with them, okay? Okay. I've been meaning to call you. I want to just listen for right. I'll get a chance. I want to listen for right now, okay? All right. I work with many people. I just want to listen for my clients. All right.
Let me see. I'm getting rid of the echo.
Have a wonderful day.
1 second.
Well, guess what? I just told you I was blessed by the best. Amen. I'm alive. You know that means a lot?
1 second.
That's the point. Oh, yes, it is.
Dial pad meetings. Can you guys hear me?
Right, and keep it tight. Amen. Amen, sis. Thank you very much. Okay, blessings. All right. Much love and much
Wow.
love you too, sister. Blessings to you. I said much love and much respect.
I'm down.
Oh, that's why. That's why.
Thank
Wait a
you,
minute.
and
Wait a
thank
minute. I got it
you.
figured out. Hang
Love
on.
you much. All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Let's see. Hold on.
So Dr. Berst got 6 part.
Voice meter output. We need that on
So where do you
the
want?
aux.
Where do you want to talk?
What I'm trying to.
1 second.
What do I want?
Where do you want to talk at?
I want to talk right through here. I want to talk
talk
through there, and I want the right device because it's using real tech, and it has me to use the LMTC or whatever it is. But I can't select it. Usually
Okay.
I click on it.
All right.
It gives me,
Dial pad meetings. Can you hear me?
but it's only giving me real tech and no options.
All right, which program are you trying to use to talk?
I'm trying to
Dial
use
pad
this one.
meetings. Can you hear me?
Here we go. See, I'm trying to open up the difference. It's just giving me.
This is for the headphones.
I'm not.
Hold on.
I need to get in there and change from real tech.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're working on an audio issue. We've got a problem on Doug Truman's end. Is there anyone in dial-pad meetings that can speak up so we can check your connection? Hello, anyone in dial-pad meetings?
It's never happened to me before.
Okay, so
Should be able to check on the sound.
Truman, can you hear me?
I hear you, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone in dial-pad meetings that's unmuted besides me?
Anybody in dial pad meetings that is
where does-
unmuted?
where does this go?
Yes. There is Sharon Hartwell is unmuted. I'm now muting her.
No, wait a minute. No, don't mute them. Don't mute them. I'm dialed in. I'm dialed into dial-pad meetings. I need somebody in dial-pad meetings to speak up so I can hear if I can connect their audio from this end.
Okay. Sharon, can you hear? See, they can't hear me. I'm trying to talk to them, but I can't ask them to do anything because they can't hear me.
where does this go?
Okay.
Where does this
Sharon,
one go?
can you hear me?
Where does this go?
Where does this one go?
This is going right here.
Where does this one go?
Where does
Let's
where
see.
does this one
Does it
go?
go right here?
Oh, okay.
That's the speakers.
Sharon, can you hear me, sweetie?
That's the speakers.
Where? No, but where does this one go? Where does your mic go?
Hello,
Where does my
Sharon.
mic go? Right here.
Where is it plugged into?
It's plugged into right here.
Can anyone in dial-pad meetings hear me?
He can hear me over here.
Yeah. So where are you trying to make this one here?
I'm trying to let these people hear me, but they cannot hear me. It says that but I see no sound coming in through here. So
Where is this? This is your speakers. Where is this going to?
where's that going? That's going up to these speakers. Usually I can click on here and choose the different things, either Realtek or LMTC, but it's not giving me any options.
Can anyone in dial-pad meetings hear me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
Okay, here, hold on, I hear you.
one. There you go. You got it.
Which one do you usually go to?
Here not Realtek.
See, they can see.
1, 2, 3, 4. One.
Which one?
Not Realtek. The other.
Truman, how do I unmute myself in dial-pad from the phone? Is that *6?
This one, see this one. See it. They should be able to hear you. See.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, I
It's
can't
1,
hear
2,
you.
3, 4, 5. You can see that it's not. You can't.
Okay. All right. Now we've got an echo. Okay.
Okay.
Hang on.
All right. Sharon, let me know if you can hear me.
Sharon?
Hello, Sharon. In dial pad. Hello, can you hear me, Sharon? No?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, Sharon.
Hi, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
And I can hear you as well.
Okay, I know it's a lot going on in the back. I just have a quick question about diaper rash. I have a little regimen, but I wonder if there's something more natural that we could do for a year.
Diaper rash.
Diaper
We're
rash.
gonna give you the remedy for diaper rash. And Paul, can you hear me okay? No.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay. So now we can hear Sharon.
It looks like we are up and running here finally. So
Okay.
and we've got Sharon who wants to know what is the remedy for diaper rash. So that remedy is called red rash salve. And if I go over here and looking at my screen and I type in red rash salve, then I'm looking at red rash salve. Where is it? Baby's first year, cold flu. All right. Well, it looks like red rash salve is in the it's number 6640. So let's go type in 6640. 6640. Let's see if we can bring up red rash salve. And there is red rash salve. And it is a salve that has comfrey leaf and plantain leaf, golden seal root, myrrh gum, and echinacea root, eucalyptus leaf, and olive oil, and vitamin E and beeswax, all natural. And that is a good uh, a salve for a person, for a baby that has, for baby rashes, and for any kind of a rash. If somebody has a rash, that is a salve that's made for rashes. Okay, did that answer your question? I guess so. Can you hear me now, Sharon? And no reply. Okay. Let's get over to Jitsi. And in Jitsi, does there anyone have a question, a comment, or a suggestion? Okay, nobody over there. So in that case, let's pick a topic of some useful information that you may find helpful. Uh, let's take a look at toxic toys because this is the season where children are receiving toys and it's too easy to receive toxic toys. Let's talk about them. And here's a research report from Alliance for Natural Health that deals with the research of that topic. And it's uh, an article that came out December 22, 2021, nearly 1 year ago. And it's dealing with the information about toxic toys. You know, the tips for choosing toxic toys for your family and friends this holiday season. Well, now you've got an option. Tis the season with so many choices, it can be difficult to select gifts and satisfy your family with loved ones. But there are also uh, free. You want to make sure they're free of dangerous ingredients and contaminants. It is important to do your due diligence as a consumer, since your system for ensuring toy safety is mostly reactive. Toys aren't tested for safety before they come on the market. Education and diligence can help keep your family and friends safe this holiday season. Smart toys are becoming popular. Smart toys are becoming popular, and there are toys that can speak to a child, play music, and perform a variety of other functions. But there are also risks, like data being collected on a child, a hacker gaining access through a Bluetooth connection, children being exposed to inappropriate content, or a toy having the capability of recording information about your home and family. One karaoke microphone Bluetooth toy doesn't require any PIN code or verification to connect, which means that anyone with a certain within a certain radius can pair their phone and play an explicit song or voice recording telling a child to come outside. Hackers could use the toy to talk to other smart devices like Amazon Alexa. Wireless headphones are becoming increasingly popular, but there are reasons to be concerned about the health and effects they can cause. We've Alliance for Natural Health has written before about the health dangers associated with the radiation emitted from cell phones, wireless headphones. Wireless headphones emit a similar type of radiation to cell phones, though generally at a lower power. And they are designed to be positioned in your ears, which is adjacent to the brain. Note that cell phone manuals usually instruct users to keep phones away from your head when using them. What makes wireless headphones uh, concerning then is their positioning right next to the brain and the cumulative exposure time. It's becoming common for people to have wireless headphones in their ears for almost the entire day. Regularly using wireless headphones is substantially increasing our overall exposure to harmful radiation. Lead in toys is unfortunately still something to watch for. The use of lead in plastics has outrageously not been banned. So, this heavy metal can still be found in toys produced in the US, not to mention toys produced outside the US. By law, toys produced in the US are not allowed to have a concentration of lead greater than 90 parts per million in surface coatings and no more than 100 parts per million in total lead content. Keep in mind, though, that there is no safe level of lead exposure. None. There's no safe lead, there's no safe level. Yeah, and they're allowing 90 parts per million as if it's safe and it's not. To avoid lead in toys, experts advise not to buy non brand toys. Antique toys. Don't buy antique toys or toys from discount shops or private vendors unless you can be absolutely sure they do not contain lead. Costume jewelry should not be given to young children. Consult uh, consult recall lists to be sure you haven't bought any toy recalled for lead. Then there's phthalates. Phthalates are chemicals used to soften plastics as they lead the government uh, has set permissible levels of certain phthalates in children's toys at 0.1% rather than banning them outright. They're allowing there's some to be in there. These chemicals come with a long list of risks. They've been linked with asthma, ADHD, breast cancer, obesity, type 2 diabetes, low IQ, neurodevelopmental issues, behavioral issues, and altered reproductive development. A recent study found that children exposed to phthalates, that's PHTHALATES, phthalates, before birth, they're exposed to phthalates before birth and shortly after, had reduced lung function by 6 and 12 years old. They had a reduced lung function. Phthalates are known endocrine disruptors that can have profound effects on, particularly male, fertility. Avoid products that have been have recycling codes 3, which 3 is PVC. Not often this PVC is softened with phthalates. Avoid products made before 2009 when phthalate limits went into effect. Reports from before that time show scary levels of phthalates in a wide variety of products. You can also email a toy company directly to see if their products contain PVC or phthalates. And aside from toys, it's best to use glass and stainless steel instead of plastic for water bottles, storage containers, and baby bottles. Then there are bisphenols. Bisphenols are used to make hard, mostly transparent plastics. Many consumers many consumers are familiar with BPA and the health problems like endocrine disruption, with which this chemical has been associated. This has led to marketing ploys of products being BPA free. But as we've reported, avoid we have reported elsewhere, BPA is often replaced with another bisphenol that is just as dangerous. It can be difficult to avoid bisphenols altogether unless you avoid all plastic toys. But certain precautions can be taken. You can choose toys made of alternative materials like responsibly sourced wood. Recycle plastic toys that look worn or or when when the clear plastic becomes cloudy. Avoid placing plastic toys for extended periods of time in the sun or in heat. Try to keep your child from putting plastic toys in their mouths. Avoid products marked with a 1 or a 7 recycle symbol, 1 or 7, and try to opt for containers marked with 2, 4, or 5 to avoid bisphenols. Then there's formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a certain carcinogen which can be found in some children's products, such as toys made of composite wood that contain adhesives that release this chemical. It can be used in products to achieve wrinkle resistance. So if a toy's label makes this claim, investigate how it's achieved. To avoid formaldehyde, opt for solid wood toys rather than composite wood. Choose organic fabrics for dolls and buy water based paints rather than oil based paints for kids, as acrylic paints can give off formaldehyde. Okay, now there's PFAs, 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 referred to as forever chemicals, since they persist in the environment and accumulation in the human body, and are used in a wide variety of consumer products, including clothes, in order to make them waterproof and stain resistant. As we reported previously, PFAS are associated with a wide range of negative health effects like cancer, thyroid disorders, developmental problems with fetuses, kidney disease, and more. Check clothing labels for the presence of Teflon or Gore-Tex, which can signal the presence of PFAS. Then we're coming to the end of this, but you want to know about flame retardants. Flame retardants. And what's going on over here? Let's see. Uh, do you have a question out there uh, in Pittsburgh? Area code 412. I see your microphone is open. Do you have a question or a comment or a suggestion? I cannot hear. I cannot hear that person. I don't know why. The mic is not muted. I'm sorry. I don't hear your question, topic, or suggestion. There in Pittsburgh, we're having some problems with dial pad, and it's not seems to be working very good today. And I have muted my mic and unmuted my mic. So my mic is working, but the microphone in Pittsburgh is not working. Let's get back to closing out here. We need to talk about flame retardants. Flame retardants are chemicals that are added to products to prevent fires. They have been added to children's pajamas since the 1970s, when rules were written requiring them to either pass certain flammability tests or be tight fitting. To comply, manufacturers began adding flame retardants to pajamas. And the most popular brominated tris was banned. A few years later, when scientists found it was carcinogenic. Flame, in other words, it was causing cancer. Flame retardants have been linked to many negative health effects, such as thyroid disruption, cognition problems, lower IQ, cancer, and it has been found to leak antimony, a heavy metal that is toxic to humans. Concerned parents can instead opt for tight fitting organic cotton pajamas that 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 have not flame resistant on the label. That's it. That's it. Uh, we hope that this information can help you shop smart and choose gifts that are fun and safe for children this holiday season. That's it uh, for that information about toxic toys. I think it was something that had to be said because we need to be aware of these problems, and avoid these toxic holiday toy traps. Now, uh, do we have any other question? Uh, Paul, do you have a question, topic, or a suggestion going on here at all? Paul, can you hear me? No, I don't. I don't think Paul is is hearing me, and I don't know why. Uh, so I and the camera's on. The mic isn't muted. So I did not know why. Paul, are you there? I don't hear you, Paul. All right. It looks like I'm on my own, folks. And so, that being said, I'm not able uh, to talk with Paul. We've lost the communication on that end, and we don't have communication uh, over here on over here on dial pad. And I'm going to check again here. I'm going to unmute Sister Sharon's microphone. Sister Sharon, are you able to hear me now? Hello, Sister Sharon. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
I can hear you just fine, Doc Truman. I was away from the
Okay.
board.
Okay, you are there. All right. So we talked about toxic toys. Are you? And I don't have any other people with their hands up at the moment. So let's go find another topic, and let's let's talk. Let's take a look at what this one is. We Common drugs that contribute to dementia and heart conditions. What would those common drugs be that are out there contributing to dementia and heart conditions when they shouldn't be out there at all? Alliance for Natural Health reports on this topic. That was July 19, 2022. And uh, an ANH is taking action. Alliance for Natural Health is taking action to add a warning to commonly used drugs that can lead to dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Uh, a week before that, uh, Alliance for Natural Health submitted a citizens petition to the FDA requesting a black box warning on proton pump inhibitors, inhibitor medications, warning of an increased risk for developing dementia from these proton pump inhibitors. Last year, uh, they submitted a separate petition asking for warning on these acid blocker medications for an increased risk of pneumonia, giving an indication of how dangerous these medications are. Experience has demonstrated that we cannot rely on the FDA to do the right thing. So we have to join. Join us as we are urging the agency to add this new warning. PPIs, proton pump inhibitors uh, are among the most widely used medications in the US, but many users are unaware that the evidence supporting the link between PPIs, that's proton pump inhibitors, and dementia. It's strong. The link of evidence is strong. The studies have linked PPI used directly with dementia. A large study published by the JAMA Neurology found that regular use of PPIs increased the risk for dementia by as much as 52% compared with non users. In addition to these studies demonstrating a direct link, other side effects of PPI use are also connected with dementia, like Alzheimer's. For example, PPI use is associated with greater risk of chronic kidney disease. It has been accepted that kidney function is connected with brain activity, and studies have linked kidney disease with dementia and Alzheimer's disease. PPI use also increases the risk of heart disease and heart attack. Heart failure has been associated with a more than 80% increased risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Other studies have linked heart problems with cognitive impairment. Researchers have speculated that the link between PPIs and dementia is potentially caused by a PPI induced increase of the protein amyloid beta. Alzheimer patients have abnormal levels of this protein, which clump together to form plaques that collect between neurons and disrupt cell function. Another link could be a vitamin B12 deficiency, since PPIs disrupt the body's ability to absorb vitamin B12. The link between PPIs, dementia, and Alzheimer's is, of course, just one more in a long list of nasty side effects of these drugs that Alliance for Natural Health has discussed previously. Public health experts say between 60 and 70% of people who take these drugs don't need them. Acid blockers like PPIs do not address the root cause of stomach trouble, which is often too little stomach acid. That's right. People think they have too much stomach acid, and it's actually too little stomach acid. Yes. Public health experts, between 60 and 70% of the people who take these drugs don't need them. And this means that in many cases, taking acid blockers simply makes your stomach problems even worse. The FDA already has issued a number of warnings regarding PPIs, including the increased risk of bone fracture and hypomagnesemia, which is low serum magnesium levels, and Clostridium difficile associated with diarrhea. It's time to add dementia to this list as well. So, an action alert. You want to write the FDA and let them know that we're concerned about this. A copy of you want to send a copy to Congress, telling the agency to add a warning that PPIs increase the risk of dementia. So, so, so there we go. Uh, and so it's so important to know that these problems exist and that we need to make sure and let the appropriate agencies, the Congress, the FDA, to know that we're concerned and so that they take action uh, and do something about it. Anyway, that's it for that particular topic. We've got a lot of topics, but common drugs that contribute to dementia and heart conditions, uh, and, and so you need to know about these kinds of things. And let's take a look if we have over here any other questions. And I'm looking if there are any microphones that are open. I don't see any microphones open.
Dr.
And
Truman,
yes, go ahead.
um, I have, oh, okay. I apparently got hung up on. I was dialed into dial pad and I got dropped. So, um, let's see. Um, I think you probably hung up on me in dial pad because you
Actually,
were.
I didn't, but dialpad is being real strange. It's doing some strange and different things. It's telling me that I exceeded my broadcast by about 6 minutes, but it shouldn't
Oh,
be throwing
really?
people off. Yeah,
Okay.
but it doesn't matter. It's still going. It's just doesn't know what time it is. So but that's okay. It's still there are Sharon Hartwell is still there in dial pad. And do you have a
Okay.
question, Sharon? Your microphone is open. Okay, that's all right. But the microphone is, but dial pad is still going, and uh, and I can't hear you, Sharon. I do not know why I'm not able to
Okay.
hear people.
Sharon?
Uh,
Sharon, I can hear you. Um, yes, I can hear you. Um,
that's amazing.
Truman, if you can mute. One moment, Sharon. Hold on. One moment.
Like I was gonna use my
Truman, you're gonna have to turn your speakers off on dial pad meetings.
Turn my speakers off on dial
Yeah,
pad meeting. Okay,
yeah.
I am trying to get down there to do that, but it's not. It will not minimize it. The window has
Just a moment, Sharon. I'll be right with you.
so it's not. There's no minimize. There's no way to minimize this window. It's. Here we go. Exit.
One moment.
There we go. I exited. I got it now. I got it. I cleared that problem, and I'm clicking on the uh, Real Tech Audio, and I just
Okay,
I
Doc,
just
what you're going to have
muted.
to do with dial
I
pad
just
is
muted it.
you're going to have to mute yourself on dial pad
I
and
did,
mute your speaker on dial pad. So you're
and
turning off both your microphone and your speaker on the dial pad computer.
okay, all right. There it
Okay?
is. It is now. It is. They're both now muted.
Okay. Sharon, can you hear me, sweetie? Sharon, can you hear me? Sharon, can you hear me, hon? Sharon? Sharon? I could hear her a moment ago.
Sharon, can you hear me? No, of course you can't hear me because now I'm muted in two directions.
Well, wait a minute. Did you mute me?
Nope, I did not mute you.
Okay.
As
Sharon, can you
matter of
hear me,
fact, you're
hon?
not even here. You're not even there unless. Oh, there you are. Yes, I do see you. And guess what?
Mute
Now you
off.
are not mute. I
Okay.
unmuted
There
you.
we go. Sharon, can you hear me now, hon? Well,
Shalom, can you hear me, Dr. Burns?
And
um,
I hear you. I hear you both. Yes, go ahead. But I don't hear you. But
Okay,
I don't.
yeah.
I don't. I don't.
Thank you for
I'm not
answering my
hearing.
question with the diaper rash and what I really so I'll be ordering that. But also I wondered if because she's been in a little pain, she's only 2 years old, but what about arrowroot? Will that soothe her? Is that okay to use like for powder to soothe? Now I know that I've had blisters before with my sickness, and what I used was the diatomaceous, and that worked beautifully because of because of the silicone in there and or the silica that's in the dio, but it usually will close a wound up really quick with the comfrey and that, as long as there's no infection present. Well, she's on amoxicillin right now, and also I wanted you to elaborate on the silver generator and how it works so well for elderly, as well as would it be okay for me to rinse, for them to rinse the baby down with the silver water?
So okay, so we're going to talk about colloidal silver water because the colloidal silver water would be very soothing and very healing to the skin and would fight any kind of an infection topically because it is antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. So it would be something that would be a very nice. And you're right, comfrey would be uh, is part of that red rash salve. Uh, so those
Okay.
even castor oil would be good for that salve because it's antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial as well. Things like coconut oil, or coconut oil is antibacterial. So these are some things that could be very helpful. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Arrowroot powder, is that okay for, like I was saying, for to soothe her? Maybe I don't know. Because
Uh,
people don't use
if
baby
that,
powder anymore. So
yeah,
I kind of made a dio and arrowroot, and that works perfect sometime for mine when I had the problem of blisters. You know.
okay. Where we at here?
Would that be okay, Dr. Burst? It won't irritate you, or will it
It
at
shouldn't.
2 years
No,
old? That was
arrowroot
my
should
only
be.
concern, her age.
It should be safe.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
All
And
right.
matter of fact, let's just
Thank you
go.
so
Let's
much.
go and. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
thank you, Sharon. Doc Truman, make sure that you don't mute my channel on Dialpad Meetings. That
All right,
way,
it's not muted.
okay.
You're open.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Um, be,
I didn't recognize your name because it I had to remember that that that's not your name that came up here on dial pad meetings. So I'm looking for Paul, but Paul wasn't there. But the anyway, you're there
okay.
and you're unmuted.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm using Skype and I'm sharing Dialpad Meetings backwards through the studio board. So just don't mute me and everything will work just fine.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm unmuted. I'm muted there, muted on that, and you've gone through the back channel. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay.
We'll figure out one way or another to make this show happen, won't we?
Oh, well, yeah, this is a work in progress, definitely. But yes, and of course the herbs that are in that red ras salve, uh, comfrey leaf, plantain leaf, golden seal root, myrrh gum, these are all, olive oil, and vitamin E. These are all things that can be very helpful for the skin as well. And and then if we are over here looking at arrowroot, let's take a look. Let's just take a look at arrowroot because it helps so many things. Let's visit with that and look at the benefits of arrowroot. Okay, uh, benefits. Let's take for the skin. Let's uh, arrowroot contains many beneficial minerals and vitamins such as zinc and iron and potassium and vitamin B6. And it's also known to provide relief to skin irritations, including rashes, acne, skin sores, and rashes. So, yes, that's why it would be a very good thing. And if that's what you've got on hand there, that would be good because it's used for skin irritations, including rashes. So, okay. Um, and do we have any other question, topic, or suggestion?
Well, I think seeing as that we're in the holiday season, and there's probably some people napping now after their turkey dinner today. Um, what about what is a good supplement? What are good things to introduce into your diet in the times when you're eating huge meals and lots of holiday treats, things that will help you curb like an overactive insulin reaction, packing on pounds. Um, what is a good way to be able to navigate the holidays without having to do a um, without having to do a uh, oh gosh, without having to do a New Year's resolution to join a gym? Where'd you go? Um, okay, I see your screen, but your screen went black. Oh, geez. All right, Doc Truman's internet connection um, just went wonky.
Okay. There's a problem with the connection there. Okay, yeah. So there it is. Reload and try again. So now, uh, yeah, dial pad kicked me out. There was a bad connection. Joining the meeting again. So we're getting back into the meeting one more time.
Okay, now you got to mute yourself again.
And I've got to turn off. Okay.
First I've got to turn off. Okay. And
Okay,
Okay,
now we're muted again.
there you go.
Now we're muted again. And we're going from Diamond back to grid. Okay, so now we're back in again. And you're there, Sharon's there, and somebody over there in Louisiana is also there. Okay. Anybody have a question, a topic, or solution?
Did you, let's see, Doc Truman.
Yeah.
Okay, can anyone in dial pad hear me? Um,
Sharon is the only one that has an open microphone, and
check
she's not responding.
check and make sure that my channel's not muted again.
Nope, it's not muted.
Okay.
I can see the sound bar moving uh, in the icon where you are there.
When you're talking
Uh,
as well.
I'm talking, but you can't. I'm muted in two
No, but
directions.
when you talk, you should be able to see my sound bar moving.
Uh, one, two, three, four. Yeah. Well, I guess so. Your sandbar is moving. Yes.
Okay. All right. So apparently there isn't anybody in Dialpad that wants to say anything. So let's just
Okay.
continue. How can people navigate the holidays without packing on extra pounds and finding themselves doing a New Year's resolution to join a gym?
It's called discipline. Really, and which is very scarce this time of year. It's hard to be disciplined when everybody is saying you got to try this. Here you have to taste that. Ooh, you got to see this. And pretty soon, yes, we overdo it. So yes, digestive enzymes are going to be helpful, uh, and probably a good detox, cleaning up the liver, the digestive tract, and maybe a little bit of extra fiber to absorb any extra toxins and heavy metals and so forth. That would be like that number 4486, colon and liver cleansing system with bentonite clay, number 4486. Yes, that that uh, that would be what would needed after afterward to and go ahead. Was there any other question besides
Sharon,
detox after
Sharon, if you're
had
done,
too
can you
much
mute, please?
too many?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, Doc, go for it.
all right. Okay, so now we've been talking about a lot of different things. Uh, let's find something different. Let's take a look at the latest information on on the FDA is preparing to unleash an anti-supplement policy by the end of this year that could eliminate tens of thousands of products from the market. The FDA has announced that by the end of December 2022, by the end of next month, it plans to release drafts or final versions of a number of policies and among them is the new dietary ingredient guidance, NDI. The new supplement guidance, in plain English, it's no exaggeration to say that this is the most dangerous threat to supplements we've that we've seen in decades, according to Alliance for Natural Health. And we must continue to vehemently oppose the guidance as currently written and demand that substantial changes are made before the final version is released. Here's some of the brief background. Under the Dietary Health and Supplement Education Act, DSHEA, any dietary supplement introduced to the market in the US after 1994 is considered new and NDI, manufactured by the FDA at least 75 days in advance of marketing the product. In implementing this policy, however, the FDA has turned a simple notification procedure into a de facto pre approval. Pre approval process akin to than a massive broadside aimed at crippling the supplement industry. How do we know this? An economic analysis estimated that the guidance would result in as many as 41,700 natural food products disappearing from store shelves, an industry-wide cost of between 2 billion and 165 billion in animal and human product safety studies to comply with the FDA's NDI notification protocols and the loss of between 55,270 and 104,475 jobs in the supplement industry are gone, will be gone. How does the FDA's guidance do this? First, the guidance imposes safety requirements on new supplements that are not even expected of drugs. The FDA's guidance describes how to determine what kind of safety studies to submit with an NDI notification. The agency states that additional safety studies may be needed if the target population of supplements changes. For example, if a history of safe use has been established with adults, but a substance will be used in a dietary supplement marketed for young children, the FDA would require another NDI notification. Not even drugs are held to this standard. The FDA states that most drugs prescribed for children have not been tested in children. Safety studies for supplements may sound reasonable, but just remember, requiring these studies is part of the FDA approval process for drugs. Drugs can afford them because they are patentable. You can't patent a natural remedy, but you can patent a drug. Supplements are natural and are not strongly patentable. So, if they are also required to conduct pre market studies, they do not have the same ability to recoup those costs unless they raise the price of supplements to where they're the same prices as drugs, which is what they're appearing to try to do. This will either force companies to go out of business, which that will make the FDA happy. They've been trying to do that since the beginning of the FDA in 1940. That's been their agenda. Get rid of natural remedies because they get their payday from the pharmaceutical industry. The FDA is highly paid. They have received over $6 billion from the pharmaceutical industry so far. And that's probably, and there's probably a lot more we're not counting. Anyway, supplements also have a consistently sterling record of safety. The FDA is also broadening the group of substances that must submit new supplement notifications by adopting a loose definition of what it means for a supplement to be chemically altered. If a post DSHEA ingredient has been present in the food supply and has not been chemically altered, it is exempted from submitting an NDI notification. The problem is that the FDA's definition of chemically altered is so broad that only the most basic manufacturing methods would not chemically alter an ingredient. This language will stifle innovations in manufacturing and ignores the fact that new and more effective ways of producing supplements have arisen in the last 22 years since DSHEA passed. There are even more problems with the guidance that interested readers can reference in previous coverage on this particular topic by Alliance for Natural Health. This is one of the most blatant attempts to eliminate Americans' ability to stay healthy naturally with dietary supplements. We must vehemently push back against this disastrous guidance. So you can write to the Congress and the FDA, and if you need any more information on these things, let me know. I can send you the ways uh, to to vehemently object as you and push back as we should, because this is food. This is not drugs, but they're trying to make foods so expensive, natural supplements so expensive that drugs will be cheaper than natural remedies before they get done. And that is absolutely a bad thing. Anyway, you need to know about that. You need to know about that. Uh, so, what else can we share with you? Um, do we have anybody who has a question, a topic, or a suggestion? I don't see anyone over there in the dial pad meetings who nobody's asking a question, or if you do have one, please unmute your microphone by pressing the star key 2 times, and we will answer your question and talk about your topic. And while I'm waiting, let's talk about how big pharma is buying up supplement companies. That's right, they're buying up supplement companies. Major shifts are and have been occurring in the supplement industry. And here's how they could affect your access to supplements. Over the last few decades, mega corporations have been increasingly investing in the supplement sector, especially during the last few years, which has seen a boom in mergers and acquisitions. Since 2017, over 20 billion has been invested in supplement companies by the likes of Bayer, that's Bayer, B-A-Y-A-R, B-A-Y-E-R, Bayer, and Nestle, and Unilever, and Procter and Gamble, and Clorox. They're buying up the supplement market. Mergers and mergers and acquisitions in the supplement sector have surged. In 2018, there were 83 transactions. In 2021, there was 137. It's no secret why large corporations are moving in. The supplement market grew from 28 billion in 2010 to almost 60 billion in 2021. They recognize a booming market and they want a part of it. The bottom line is that many supplement brands you see on store shelves are owned by large corporations that traditionally do not deal in supplements. The question is, what does this mean for our access to quality products that support our health? I keep seeing a lot of products out there that are not even worth buying, but they're they're there's not enough milligrams in there. It's the wrong uh, natural ingredient in there, uh, uh, and uh, and it's inexpensive. But you don't need it and don't want it because it really isn't any good. But it looks, you see, you think you're getting something that's valuable, but it's not. First, what is a quality supplement? The quality of ingredients is the first marker of a good supplement. Poor quality supplements do not provide the right forms of bioavailable vitamins. They provide they provide vitamin A as beta carotene instead of a broad spectrum carotenoids. Vitamin E, instead of natural, it's synthetic. It's DL alpha tocopherol acetate instead of mixed tocopherols and tocotrienols. Folic acid instead of folate. Magnesium oxide rather than magnesium glycinate, taurate, malate, or chloride. And ubiquinol instead of CoQ10. They can contain other ingredients like additives and fillers that some consumers will want to avoid. Not only are the ingredients of lower quality, they are less potent. Pfizer's Centrum Silver Multivitamin, for example, provides only 60 milligrams of vitamin C, only 3 milligrams of B6, and only 50 milligrams of magnesium, and 19 micrograms of selenium. Higher quality supplement brands sell products with higher nutrient levels. Instead of 60 milligrams of vitamin C, some brands have 500 milligrams of vitamin C. And people need a lot more than that. So they're just underdosing people, and they're buying it because it's a brand they think is safe, but it's not. Over 30 milligram over and over there's over 30 milligrams of vitamin B6 in a good supplement, over 30 milligrams of B6 instead of just 3 milligrams. So it's and I'm seeing this. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you get underdosed and get used. So you're buying. You think you're getting something that's useless. Companies investing in the supplement space, in the supplement space, are almost universally known for their products in other industries. Bayer is a pharmaceutical and biotech company. You may remember that they acquired Monsanto. One of the evilest companies in existence is Monsanto. That's the reason you don't have seeds. That's why reason you have to buy a seed to grow a plant. Monsanto, who's also Monsanto, is the maker of glyphosate. Unilever Unilever is known for beauty and personnel care. Products like Dove and Axe body spray. Nestle is a food company known for chocolate and sweets. Procter and Gamble owns brands like Tide, Downy, Charmin, Head and Shoulders, Crest, and many, many more. Nestle Health Science, a division of Nestle, bought Pure Encapsulations and Douglas Foods, along with a host of other supplement companies, including Garden of Life, Vital Proteins, Noon, Wobenzyme, Persona Nutrition, Genestra, Orthica, Menami, Aovive, Clean Athlete, and Bountiful. Bountiful itself owns Solgar, Osteobiplex, or Osteobiflex, Puritan's Pride, Esther C, and Sundown, all owned, all owned by Bountiful, who owns Solgar. And then they're all under the and which are now all under Nestle's control. Otsuka, a pharmaceutical company, owns Mega Food and Innate Therapeutics. And Schwab, another pharmaceutical company, owns Integrative Therapeutics. It owns Nature's Way and Enzymatic Therapy. And Unilever owns Unit and Olly Olly, and Equilibra and Liquid IV and Smarty Pants vitamins. Wall Street is also getting in on the action, with private equity groups purchasing brands like Nutraceutical and Metagenics. A number of these brands are not the high quality supplements sought after by savvy natural consumers. Ollie, bought by Unilever, produces gummies that contain added sugar and additional added ingredients like natural flavors. Noon, Nuun, Noon, a vitamin and hydration company, uses inferior forms of vitamins like folic acid and magnesium oxide in their products. Smarty Pants Vitamins is another company specializing in gummies that includes 7 grams of added sugar per serving. I'll say that again. Smarty Pants Vitamins, 7 grams of added sugar per serving. That's 7,000 milligrams. That's a massive amount of sugar. We also know that Nestle is developing its own line of enteral nutrition products. They have medications for the treatment of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, and other conditions. Go ahead. Several of these brands are higher quality supplement companies, such as Pure Encapsulations and Douglas Laboratories and Mega Food and Metagenics. What will happen to them now that they are owned by mega corporations that have not historically had core natural health principles as the foundation of their businesses? We've spoken to several of the largest and highest quality brands that have not been purchased they have confirmed that larger companies have made several unsuccessful attempts to purchase them. There's so anyway, there's just a lot. I'm glad to send you this information. Suffice it to say, mega corporations are increasingly expanding into the supplement space, probably because, aside from the reasons already mentioned, the supplement market is enormous and continues to grow. In 2021, the US supplement market was worth 48.4 billion. It is expected to expand at a compound annual growth rate of 8.9%. Where there's money to be made, big players will want to cash in.
I
So,
am
what does this
I'm
mean for
com-
supplement access going forward? Go ahead.
I am completely disturbed that Puritan's Pride was bought out by one of the big B's. I'm completely disturbed.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's and here and now the greatest one of the greatest enemies of supplements is Senator Durbin. And Senator Durbin has been on the attack from natural supplements for all the years that I can remember. That guy's going to outlive me. I can't believe that that guy's still going and still attacking the natural supplements. But Dick Durbin's mandatory product listing for supplements. The Alliance for Natural Health have been writing for many months about Senator Dick Durbin, a Democrat from Illinois, his efforts to require mandatory product listing for dietary supplements and how this brings us closer to what the European Union is doing to restrict supplement dosages and formulas. In Europe, they've already ruined the supplement system in Europe. Recall that the intention of the EU law is to implement EU wide harmonized limits on maximum levels of vitamins and minerals in supplements. They want to minimize what your dosage is going to be. Individual member countries have been developing their own proposed restrictions on vitamin and mineral doses. The infrastructure for doing the same thing is already in place in the US. As we've seen in issues like GMO labeling, where some states require labeling of GMO foods and others didn't until federal law preempted state labeling laws. Big companies don't like dealing with a patchwork of regulations. Mega corporations doing business across the world would likely welcome harmonized levels of supplements so they can sell their products on the world market without having to change formulations or labels. Higher end products would be eliminated because they wouldn't meet the harmonized nutrient levels. You couldn't buy higher levels of vitamin C because they don't want you to. They want to harmonize nutrient levels to meet their 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 standards. And all that would be left are the most basic cookie cutter products that don't support patients' needs but make the most money. Think of the supplements. Think of the supplements you see at CVS or Walgreens, etc. Those are the ones that you're going to that aren't real supplements. So Nestle owning Douglas Labs and Pure encapsulations may not mean any change in quality for now, but that could all change if Senator Durbin gets his way. If we're marching toward harmonized supplement levels to appease the European market, so they can compete, Nestle may decide that quality formulas from these two companies aren't worth the trouble. They may not make enough money, or they don't meet the harmonized criteria. Or if the products aren't eliminated altogether, we could see the development of a two-tiered system. Cookie cutter supplements with low doses that can't support health, and prescription level supplements that cost a fortune. Either way, consumers lose. This is the game they're playing. The FDA's new dietary ingredient NDI guidance is another issue we've been reporting on for many years. Simply put, the FDA is trying to install a quasi pre approval system for new supplements, those introduced to the market after 1994. And in its revised guidance document explaining how they intend to implement this provision of the law, the FDA has signaled its intention to treat many common supplements as new and thus subject to the onerous NDI requirements before they can come to market. Note that the law passed by Congress only calls for a pre market notification system for new supplements, but the FDA has tried to usurp power to turn this into a pre market approval system like the one they have for drugs. An economic analysis estimated that if implemented as is, the NDI guidance could lead to the elimination of over 41,000 products from the health food store shelf. While complying with NDI procedures could be onerous for many small independent companies, large corporations can pay to play. In fact, the NDI guidance could be seen by big corporations owning supplement brands as a blessing, as it would wipe the market clear of any competitors, especially the small, nimble companies making innovative formulations that the FDA would most likely consider new. Here's an alternative scenario. Big companies who are beholden to shareholders are often chasing short-term profits. So if you're Nestle, you buy a quality brand like Pure Encapsulations. And just a couple of years later, all those supplements need to comply with a bevy of new regulatory requirements. You might just decide that it is more trouble than it's worth and close up shop. After all, Pure Encapsulations and Douglas Labs make up a tiny fraction of Nestle's overall business. They may just be trying to make money on these supplement brands while they can and toss them aside when it becomes too expensive. Or maybe there are fewer good brands left standing, which causes a sharp increase in prices as we see drug monopolies. And we see that with drug monopolies. Or maybe the big drug companies that own supplement brands would rather sell diabetes drugs than supplements required to control blood sugar or statins rather than omega 3s for the heart, for heart health. We should also recognize that the mega corporations like those in the pharmaceutical industry and big food wield much more power and influence over the political and regulatory system than small, innovative supplement companies. Now that these companies are buying up supplement companies, will that mean they will use their clout to block further regulation of supplements to protect those revenue streams? Or do they still view supplements as competition for their drugs, which are far more profitable? Much of this speculation, we don't know what's going to happen, but overall, this level of consolidation isn't good for competition because just a small number of companies can make decisions that can affect our supplement access. And many of them do not share the values of small independent companies who go into business to fill a need in the natural health sector. Issues over quality of supplements and access to higher dosages become the decision of a smaller and smaller contingent of companies. This is not good from a health freedom standpoint. A lot of this analysis highlights and the facts that we need to stop Senator Durbin from getting his way on mandatory product listing for supplements. Anyway, there I can send you more information on this topic. All you need to do is call me on the telephone or email me. My telephone number is 503 362 5899. That's 503 362 5899. My email address is Truman at herbalhealthreview.com. And we are, I'm looking over here to see if there's anyone who has anything that we should discuss before we come to the top of the hour here. Is there anyone, Sharon, or they're in Dallas, Texas? If you have a question or a topic or a suggestion, let's hear it before it's time to leave.
I
I'm
think
looking
what
for
it's gonna I think what it's gonna take is it's gonna take a nationwide boycott of one company at a time. Just you cannot boycott everything because they have their fingers in so many pies. But you can certainly boycott all of the subsidiaries and subcorporations of one corporate giant and boycott that corporate giant. What they're attempting to do is they're attempting to take control of the market to buy up all of these small independent supplement companies. They will run them as long as they're profitable, and then they will simply throw them away because they've already eliminated the supplement competition to their pharmaceutical drugs. So we need to take the Nestle's, and we need to take the Kraft Foods, and we need to take the General Mills, and just attack them one at a time and boycott those companies until the parent companies fold, until they die.
Well, that's what they
Otherwise,
deserve.
that's
Certainly what they
exactly what
deserve.
they deserve, and that's exactly what they're attempting to do with the supplement companies that are actually providing healthful, nutritious, and medicinal supplements
Yeah,
for the
and,
general
and
public.
yeah, and they're stifling uh, innovation. They're stifling uh, small business owners, uh, and, uh, and this is a trend that's been there far too long.
Well, the FDA and what the FDA is doing to supplements. I mean, the FDA is easy to take care of. They're a private corporation. They're not part of the United States government, and they are a government services corporation. And they operate under agency law, which means their rulings only apply to companies that are licensed within the U.S. federal corporation under that auspice and authority. So the FDA is easy to take care of because we can hit them in their pocketbook. Because every time they make a ruling or every time they limit a supplement or attempt to patent or control a natural substance, they don't own it, they can't patent it, they cannot control it. And every time they attempt to do that, we just sue them with a class action lawsuit. And every man, woman, and child in the United States and around the world can be a member of that class action. We simply sue the FDA and bankrupt them. We get rid of them. They're not backed by the U.S. federal corporation. They're a for profit business and they get their money from the pharmaceutical companies. So we just attack the FDA, take them out. If they're attacking our food supply, if they're attacking our supplement supply, we simply attack them in a court of law. We'll take these guys out one by one. They're either going to fly right and stop the abuses of humanity, or we will stand up and we will fight back. So it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. And we have their number. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm off my soapbox now.
Okay. Well, you got a good point there. We do need to stand up for uh, what's for what's right, uh, but and evil, and evil ideas and things that harm people. They get a hold, and people are constantly having to defend themselves. Freedom is a lot of work.
Right. And the FDA passing or allowing something that harms people is no less evil than interfering with something that benefits people. They're both, they're just two sides of the same demonic coin.
Well said, sir. All right. Well, do we have any other topics or suggestions one thing you mentioned, somebody had uh, a dog, a small dog, about 9 pounds, and you mentioned that they were having a mitral valve degeneration of that dog. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you asked me earlier what might be a natural remedy that may help this dog, and the answer is the number 1222 herbal formulation for the heart. Let's go take a look at an herbal remedy that would help a dog with uh, with a mitral
Degenerative
valve
mitral valve
degeneration.
disease. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so let's take a look at what's going to help. And that's number 1222, 1222. Is that right? Achy breaky heart is its name. And the herbs that are going to help that type of a condition would be motherwort, hawthorn berry, tansy leaf, fenugreek seed, garlic bulb, cayenne, and not only the hawthorn berry, but also hawthorn leaf, and some ginkgo, which is going to increase circulation. But that is a formulation for the heart that may be very helpful for that dog.
Is
And
that
since it's only nine
specifically
pounds,
is that
since it's only
specifically
9
for
pounds,
pets? Is that
go
specifically
ahead.
for
What you saying?
dogs? Is that specifically for dogs? Because some human supplements are not suitable for dogs. They take them negatively. They react to them negatively.
Exactly. And that's why, and when you're using these supplements, and what I found over the last over 60 years of using natural remedies, that uh, that uh, that supplements that help humans will also work very well, usually on animals, dogs, cats, etc. But you're right. We have to be very careful, and especially because here it is. There's where a human would take about 30 drops 3 times a day. This little puppy, we're only going to start with 2 or 3 drops and see how it affects the dog. And 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 after you've watched the dog and given the dog a couple of doses of maybe 3 drops, and as long as everything's no reaction, and there shouldn't be, then uh, you can move that dose up to maybe 10 to 15 drops of that achy breaky heart. But we would take that dosage up very slowly and make sure that it's working for the dog. And with humans, we may do the same thing, especially if a human is is sensitive to different things. We're not going to start with the normal 30 drops 3 times a day, or half a dropper full 3 times of the day of an herbal extract. We're gonna we're gonna start with a little bit, because if and we're gonna always make sure that they aren't the individual that has a sensitivity to an herbal formulation that everybody else can use. Doesn't mean that they can use it. And that's why we always start an underdose people instead of 30 drops. You'll see on the label of extracts that I invented, it'll say 6 drops. Start with 6 drops. And a lot of people don't understand that you're not supposed to stay at 6 drops. That's an underdose, just to make sure that it works for you. Most of these tincture extracts, your dosage is going to be right around 30 drops 3 times a day. But you're going to see on the label takes to, you're going to say it's going to start with 6 drops. And that's why, because some people are very sensitive. But Paul, I think we've come to the top of the hour. I think we've done just about an hour. What's your clock say?
Oh, my clock says we're at 1:59:08 into the show. So we're we're right there at the 2 hour mark.
Well, okay. So that being said, let's get a closing prayer, and uh, and and let's then open up the microphones and uh, all praise the Most High together. So let's let's take a look at Psalm 84. Psalm 84, rejoicing in God's tabernacle. It was to the chief musician upon Gittith, a psalm for the sons of Korah. Psalm 84, 1. How amiable are thy tabernacles, O Lord of hosts. My soul longeth, yea, even fainteth for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh crieth out for the living God. Yea, the sparrow hath found an house, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young. Even thine altars, O Lord, O hosts, my King and my God. Blessed are they that dwell in the house. They will be still praising thee, Selah. Blessed is the man whose strength is in thee, in whose heart are the ways of them, who passing through the valley of Baca make it a well. The rain also filleth the pools. They go from strength to strength, every one of them in Zion appeareth before God. O Lord God of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob, Selah. Behold, O God, our shield, that look upon the face of thine anointed. For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. O Lord of hosts, blessed is the man that trusteth in thee. So be it in Jesus Christ's name, Yeshua. All praises to the Most High God. All praises to the Most High God. And let us open the microphones over there in Dialpad Meeting, and let's go here and unmute the microphones. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High.
We ain't got nothing to do with this. Get up the place.
Praise you and thank you.
Break up like this.
All praises to the Most High God.
You know, Ed?
The organizer has ended this meeting. Goodbye.
This program is presented for information purposes only. The statements made herein have not been evaluated by any agency and should not be considered professional, legal, or medical advice. Viewers are directed to consult their own professional sources before acting on any information presented here.